Yeah, this is Bang Bang Rail. Please press the like button and subscribe. In Fulham, I think it's Fulham Road or something like that, or Fulham Road, there's a place called the Gas Club, yeah? It's a drinker. It's a nice place. Everyone goes there, takes their kids down there. It's a late night thing, so obviously the kids go home, but the mums and dads stay there, have a good drink up, yeah? So a lot of faces go there. And my father-in-law was talking to me about a time that he was down there with Nosha Powell, it's called Ray Woodward, him, and Bindon. But Bindon didn't come in until quite late. So Bindon been out, where he'd been out, clubbing or whatever he'd been doing. He'd come back, he'd been on the thing. You could tell the way he was shouting about being flash. My father-in-law was in there, Ray Woodward, and Tony Lawrence walks in, yeah? Tony Lawrence. He comes in there. He knows Nosha Powell very well. Shook hands with Nosha Powell, having a little drink, having a little talk. Just normal people. Just, you know, not they're gangsters, but not showing the gangsterism, just being what they are, yeah? A lot of people respect Tony Lawrence, yeah? A lot of people respect Nosha Powell. A lot of people respect Ray Woodward, and a lot of people respect my father-in-law, Micky Johnson. Micky Johnson was involved with a thing called the Thursday Gang. They used to go up north, rob all the big steel refineries, the bricklayer, the coal things, and everything. You know, anyway, big bird, mate. My father-in-law got 12s or 14s to it, yeah. Anyway, he was with Jimmy Moody. Jimmy Moody was part of his firm. Anyway, my father-in-law's in there. He's in there having a drink, and Bindon's getting a bit leery. Tony Lawrence is just talking to Nosha Powell. Just having a nice drink. Bindon starts getting really leery, shouting his mouth about, yeah. Then he starts his antics, yeah. But you've got to remember that you can do all this in places that you don't really know about and don't really care about. But when you go into a place that people you know and should respect and you don't respect, and you start taking your trousers down and putting pint glasses on it and all that game, and put them into pint glasses and rushing it around with a pint glass on the end of it, yeah, getting all flash. It ain't a good thing when people have got their kids there. Well, not younger kids, but elderly kids, and they're in there with their wives, especially local area, Fulham, yeah. And they all know Bindon. Now, Bindon's taking the mickey because he also knows his people. So you got my father-in-law with Nosha Powell, Ray Woodward, and Tony Lawrence. Tony Lawrence is not really involved with my father-in-law. He's more or less involved with Nosha Powell, talking to Nosha Powell and Ray Woodward. Yeah. My father-in-law's not really into that. Tony Lawrence, different. He did come from Fulham. But my father-in-law used to live just down Fulham Road there, Fulham Palace Road, yeah. Anyway, so Bindon's getting all flash. So Tony Lawrence is there with some people, right, and he's also there with his daughter. He goes up to no, not his daughter. I think it's his wife's. Anyway, he's there with relation. He goes up to Bindon and he told Bindon, do yourself a favour, put your trousers on and get out of the club. He said, behave yourself. There's people in there with their kids and their wives, yeah? Behave yourself, Bindon. You're taking the piss now, mate. And Bindon started shouting at Tony Lawrence. And he said, why, do you want some, Lawrence? So Lawrence said, do yourself a favour, mate. Just get out of the place. Behave yourself. And then Nosha Powell's supposed to have started. I don't know what happened. My father was just telling me about Tony Lawrence, yeah? More like Nosha Powell went into one. I should imagine, being the man he is, Nosha Powell, yeah? I should imagine he'd killed Bindon. Anyway, Bindon started shouting at Tony Lawrence. I think the worst thing he could have done was have a row with someone like Tony Lawrence, who was one of the enforcers, hitmen for the Richardsons, yeah? Tony Lawrence has been shot 4, 5, 6 times by the Sullivans, yeah? They tried to kill him. Tony Lawrence is a very, very dangerous man, mate. I mean, I know I keep saying people are dangerous, but he is dangerous, Tony Lawrence, yeah? Bindon's pulled out a big bayonet on Tony Lawrence. A bayonet, not a big bayonet on Tony Lawrence. Drunk, falling around, oh, I'm going to stab you up, Lawrence, get outside, all that crap, yeah? This is what my father was telling me, yeah? Tony Lawrence has gone outside. Bindon's come out with a big blade. Tony Lawrence has run down the road, got into the back of the car and pulled out one of his big axe, massive axe. Walked down towards Bindon. Bindon's got the blade, the what do you call it, the knife. And he's coming in, and Tony Lawrence saying, well, come on in, Bindon. Come on in, big knife, come on in, Bindon, if you want it. And as Bindon's come forward, what my father-in-law is half pissed up, Bindon as well. My father-in-law's hitting with the axe, but he ain't hitting with the axe part of it, he's hitting with the other side of the axe, yeah, the blunt side. He's hitting him on top of the shoulder, on more or less the traps and big muscle, that big bone there, yeah. Wallop, you hear it. My father-in-law said, you heard it go crash. Bindon hits the floor, crying like a baby. Oh, like I mean, please, I'm sorry. Tony Lawrence turned the axe round, all right, and he went crash. Listen, it missed Bindon's head for about, I reckon, about a fraction of an inch. Wallop. Bindon cried, he rolled in the ball and cried like a baby. He was in pain as well as fear. Tony Lawrence walked up the road. My father-in-law and Ray Woodward run up the road to Tony Lawrence. Tony Lawrence is one of the people you can't talk to. Just got in the car and drove off, yeah. About 20 minutes later, Tony Lawrence has come back, but he's come back with a thing, with an hand thing, yeah. Now he wants to kill Bindon. He's just gone mad. I mean, it's axe and all. He doesn't want to do that. He's going to go bang and shoot me in the legs or whatever he wants to do, yeah. He's come back, but he's gone, Bindon's gone. He's gone to the hospital because of his shoulder. My father-in-law said, Tony Lawrence said to my father-in-law and to Ray Woodward, you tell that Bindon not to come down the gas club now for a long time because I'll be looking for him, yeah? Tell him that. Tony Lawrence was going to kill him stone dead. I reckon Tony Lawrence was going to blow his head off, yeah? And I believe that. You know, Tony Lawrence is a very, very dangerous man. But when eventually, when I see Johnny Bindon with my father-in-law in the house and all that and the other, I didn't really know too much about that. It's only later on my father-in-law told me these stories about John, when John had been, he was in hospital, looked like he was dying. And then Johnny Bindon, he died of AIDS. He had a good, I mean, what sort of life he had? I mean, you know, only young, you know, when he died, 48, when he 50, something like that, young, died of AIDS. There's a little big thing about Lady Margaret dying of AIDS, but no one can say that, it's only hearsay. They say that she was cremated. It seems very strange that a member of the royal family to be cremated. Usually they get put into a tomb and put into Westminster Cathedral or something like that, I don't know where. But that's the rumour that was going around, yeah? I can't see that being true myself, but that's the rumour that was going about. Bindon's a very lucky man, mate. Very lucky man. Being that I knew Tony Lawrence, and being that I knew what Tony Lawrence was about, I think Bindon was the luckiest man walking alive. I think he was so lucky not to get shot, dead, killed. But that was what Bindon did. He took the piss. They say that he was a bully. He wasn't that bully, because I remember when we was outside the Cromwellian and I'd had a row with him downstairs in the Cromwell Club, and he come out and hit me on the chin and slapped me on my arse. To me, that wasn't a bully. You know, it was me and him that had rows, and he just hit me on the chin and knocked me over. You know, obviously it was stopped, you know, but he hit me on the chin and knocked me over. And that ain't a bully to me. That's a guy that can have a bit of a row. But you know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, he was a good fighter, you know. But then he had with Darty, didn't he? Down the yacht club, he stabbed him up, which was a liberty because that was his mate. That was his mate. I believe he was, when he was in Brixton, Bindon, because he was in a hospital in Brixton, because he was on a murder charge. And when you're on a murder charge, they put you in the hospital. It's the same with what they'd done to Lenny McLean. Lenny McLean was on a murder charge, and they put him in a hospital wing in Brixton. That's what they do. They just do that for, I don't know what reason, they just do it, yeah? But that's what they done. But Bindon, he just ruined his life, man. He just ruined his life. He was so silly. And in a way that he's, I think he got a cat, a life, was it 9 lives of a cat? I think he's got 9 lives, Bindon, because I tell you what, he should have been dead a few times. You know what I mean? He's dead. I mean, I was looking for him for myself. You know, it's a bit thing, isn't it, when someone comes out, he's a bit of a bully, and then a bully because he hit me on the shoulder, knocked me over. I was right pissed off as a young boy. I wanted to kill him myself, but obviously not like that. But, you know, and then Tony Lawrence, Darty, there's a lot of Darky, there's a lot of other things, other people he's upset, you know, that were going to kill him, mate. You know what I mean? He worked with the Craze. I think the Richardsons were a bit pissed off that he done a little bit of the Craze, but he done quite a bit with the Richardsons as well. Anyway, this is Bang Bang Whale. Please press the like button and subscribe. Nice one. Take care. Bye.